Right, here we are with my Typhoon H Pro. Reason I'm doing this short video today is some of the things that I print with my 3D printer I actually use on my Typhoon H. Couldn't buy them anywhere, so I set about and designed some, and after a few hours of designing and getting things wrong and then eventually I think I've done a pretty good job of getting them right, and they are for some navigation lights for the Typhoon H Pro. Now it does have its own sort of navigation lights on end of the arms just below the propellers. Now I don't find them particularly easy to see for orientation, especially from a distance, but also it has landing gear that you can put up and down. Now when I've done some filming late at evening time, and it's a little bit difficult and to spot whether you've actually got the landing gear up or down. I know it sounds stupid, but it's very easy to forget that you've not got the landing gear down, and I nearly came a cropper. It was about 2 foot off the ground and realised I hadn't put the landing gear down. The light was just fading, so what I thought of was a set of landing gear lights, just clip on, clip off, strobe lights that give you the orientation as well, so that when you do put the landing gear down, sorry, the landing gear lights are really visible, and it gives you a good orientation of which way your craft is pointing. I'll just unzip the box. Right, I'll just pause it to show you what's inside the box. Right, here we are again. It's typical Typhoon H travel bag. Unfortunate thing is that it's a good bag, well constructed, and protects the craft well for transport. But unfortunately, you have to take a lot of things out just in order to get the craft out itself. It's not time consuming, it's just difficult sometimes. That's the Typhoon H. Right, here we have the Typhoon H out of its box. I'll just clip the arms up. They clip pretty simple enough. Just watch the ornament. Right, these are the landing gear lights that I've produced on the M200 3D printer. They're quite a small device. As you can see, it's self-contained. It has a battery pack in, and it has a little switch on. It's 2 D-cell batteries. Now obviously I wanted something that would go up with the landing gear as well as down. Now these are pretty simple in the design. That's the red one, which obviously goes on the right hand side, clips to the leg, and this is the green one, which clips to the left hand side. You can put the switch to the back or put the switch to the front, doesn't matter which way you put them. Quite well orientated, but when you switch them on, that is the effect that you get. So from a distance you know that the landing gear is down by the distance from the craft arms. Also, when the undercarriage is put in its up position, you've got a strobe light here and a strobe light there. So for orientation it's better than the ones that are actually on the craft. Simple in its design. I will show you how they're made and how they're constructed. It's not a... It's taken me a few hours of design to get them to this stage. The D-cell batteries, you can normally tell when they start to fade off, and that is the light will still flash, but it doesn't strobe as much, but it still flashes, and they last for quite a while. And you can get D-cell batteries on the internet comparatively cheap, so it's not that bad. As you're aware of, navigation lights on model aircraft, it's something that has to be there if you want to fly safely, and at the end of the day these cost a lot of money, and last thing you want is to try and put this craft down with the undercarriage up, and believe me, people do it. This stops that. You know the undercarriage is down, it's safe to land, and from a distance, from a quarter of a mile away, you can see them strobe lights at dusk. So it's pretty good, really. I'll show you a little bit now about how they're constructed, but I'll have to go up to where the printer is, so I'll see you shortly. Oh, back again. It's still printing away. I'm just showing you some other items that I've printed. It just seemed to be I did quite a lot for drones. Somebody wanted a battery pack holder for the whatever they're using it for inside the remote controlled aircraft, so I designed that. Simple. That's for cooling. Square box section. Now just look at the quality of that. You know, it's absolutely spot on and accurate to your measurements. That battery fits in there, and that goes round to hold it in place. Stops your battery from coming out, and then you can put that in his model aircraft. Now I believe it runs his landing lights that he has. And then somebody else asked me for a similar, but it wanted to take a unit that would have two not D-cell batteries, but button cell batteries, and there's a little switch on it. That fits in whatever he wanted. I never found out what he wanted that for, but I did some. And as I say, the finish is absolutely superb. Square, no deforming, it is square on the corners. Obviously it's oblong, but and then these are my latest things. I have now a larger drone, and the larger drone is a Yuneec Typhoon H Pro, and it has actually landing gear lights on. On mine fitted, and that's what these are. It has landing gear on that retracts, but unfortunately sometimes when I'm flying at dusk videoing, it's a bit difficult to see. The lights on it that come with it on the arms, on the 6 propeller arms, are adequate, but I nearly come a cropper one night when I was bringing it down to land, and I didn't put the landing gear down, and I thought, no, it's not happening again. So I've printed these. Now I buy obviously the LED boards inside, but I actually print everything else and make these up. And if you notice, on the bottom of the unit, it has a clip. Now that is printed separately, and that is bonded to the unit, the other unit that I print, and it comes in. I'll just show you. I'll just get them out. I have a few. It comes, when it's printed on the printer, it comes like that. But I know it's a bit difficult to see in the light, but it comes actually like that. Oops, not the camera. And it comes as a unit. These all pop off. They just come off the raft. That pops out off the raft. That's your clip. That's your top, which fits over that part there. That's your clip. That's your top, which fits there, and that fits inside. Your 2 button cell batteries go underneath it. I do the wiring for it. Printed board, soldered to the dome. I purchased with the printed board. They all come. I can find them. Those are the printed boards with the strobe light on. So, buy the domes from the same company. Now, when I did these originally, I was going to wire it from the battery on the unit, and I thought, no, I don't want any wires down the legs. What I'll do is I'll make them independent. So these have batteries in, and all you do is, you see the little switch on the side, install that as well. It clips to the leg, which is running that way. The drone's body here, and there's another leg there. I should have had the drone out really, but I'm going to do a little bit better video. When you switch this on, and that's the red one, and that's the green one. As you can see, they are extremely bright. You don't forget your landing gear, and plus orientation wise, you know which way it's coming round, from the red or the green. It's absolutely brilliant. And this is what the ability of a 3D design software and a good 3D printer can do. I've yet to say I didn't put one of them on eBay. There's a lot of Yuneec drones being sold out there, but I don't think I've got time to start printing a lot of these off. But anyway, that's just something else, and I'll be back shortly, hopefully, to show you the unit as it's printed when it's finishing. So we'll see you later. Bye. Right, here we are. I've shown you the Typhoon H Pro and where the landing lights or navigation lights are clipped onto, and I've also shown you how they're printed on the 3D printer. It's not difficult to get something like that. It's just practice, time and practice. And if you don't get it right the first time, try again. Don't be disheartened by it. I had lots of designs before, and I did each individual one, and then I put them all onto one raft to print them all at the same time, so it'll come out as a pack like that. Now, whoops, but here I tried different ideas. That's a slim one. I do it in black as well, so there's no actual cabling inside. There's just a printed board and the dome, the strobe LED dome. That would screw onto a model aircraft, and you'd wire it yourself through a battery pack that I showed you earlier on. which is inside, and that's what a gentleman had done that wanted me to print him a little battery pack holder off. He's wired them himself, and they just screw to the underside. So you can imagine the dome inside there. In fact, I'll get a dome out, show you what they come like. That's the dome. That's how the domes come. Now, that's how the gentleman wanted that one. They just clip into there, and then what happens there, he wires that into himself. But as you can see, it's quite a slim unit, so adds no weight to the aircraft. And I did it in white because his wings were white. Doesn't look very nice white on carbon fibre legs for the Typhoon H, but that's basically, I buy the 3 items, which is the board, the screws and the dome, and that's it. The batteries are pretty simple really, you just buy them off, well, I got them off eBay, that's how I buy them. Pack of 24 CR 2032s. I think it cost me about £5, which is pretty good really. The batteries last quite a length of time, and they tend not to just go off. You'll see them, they're not strobing as strong, so they'll weaken, but they're still working. Just change the batteries. At that sort of money, you can't put a price on your Typhoon H, especially when it crashes and damages blades or an arm, because you haven't put your landing gear down, or you got the orientation wrong. So value for money, it's worthwhile. It was for me anyway. The only items that are actually glued on here are the clamp arm to the body. Now, I've gone before about YouTube, learning various things on YouTube. Now, I've tried various adhesives on mine, and they worked, it was okay, but there's always that element that they could detach themselves. So I thought, what's the best way of connecting both? What adhesive? And I went on YouTube, and a gentleman on YouTube said, when you're 3D printing, you want to glue anything together, buy some acetone, small bottle of acetone, get us a glass jar. Now I use one of those jam pots, we get them from a famous coffee shop, and every time I have one now I bring it home and wash it out. And what you do is, the plastic that you use, this is Z hips, the raft, the piece of plastic that are waste, you actually cut up into small pieces, and you actually put that in a jar with a little bit of acetone, leave it for about an hour, and then this makes, depending on how much acetone you put in, a thin or a thick adhesive. Now, when you actually apply that to each individual item and press them together, what it does is, it's like vulcanizing rubber. It actually melts each part into one another, and you will not break it. You will not break that joint, you'll break the item. And the gentleman I got the idea off, he said it works every time, providing you use the same plastic or the same material, plastic, whatever it is, with the acetone onto the same item that you're gluing. I couldn't use very much that, I haven't tried it, but I don't think I could use Z Ultra or Z ABS on Z hips as an adhesive. So I have a jar for each individual plastic that I use, and it works brilliantly, really good. And I sent the gentleman an email and said, thanks very much, your ideas are wonderful, because that cost me nothing really, a bit of acetone, and there's not a right lot of acetone in there for the amount of glue I need. But there you go, you see the items. I mean, he even do a, I can see it, that's the red one, In fact, I can show you actually what happens when the batteries start to fade. That's a normal strobe. That's a normal strobe. That's a normal strobe. That's a white one. So there's three there that are okay. Whoops. But when you put this one on, see the difference. One. That's because that one's been used. It's been used a few times, so the battery's starting to fade, but it's still visible. So, but that's what happens. You know that the battery's starting to fade. But at the cost they are, it's neither here nor there. Well, I hope it's helped you, this video. I've not another video lined up. Not as yet. I haven't come across anything that I need to make as yet. I've got to do some on the CNC engraver that I've got, to show some work on that. But I hope to make another one soon, and till then, bye for now.